Hello again, and what can I say, Linda, but the celebrations are coming in. Happy birthday, Linda from Tracy Bennett.
Darling, you're so special, you know. When's your birthday? Come on. Come
Well,
on, tell me.
I'm universal. I have a birthday every day. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, but I don't celebrate birthdays. But it's in August, Fidel Castro Day. There we are.
Oh, I'm writing this down, okay? Castro Day, August. All right, because, you know, I'm a girl, and I don't know what it is with girls rather than guys, but we have this thing about anniversaries, birthdays, and all the rest of it. So, you know, I like... whenever it's like my friends' birthdays, I ring them 2 days before their birthday, right, and I'll say, happy day before the birthday day. And then the day before the birthday, it's happy day before the birthday day. And then the day after, I'll ring them and say, oh, today's the day after your birthday day. Well, you know, because why just celebrate one day, you know?
I mean, I've got this thing.
It's the week before your birthday day. So I like doing little surprises like that on people. If I know their birthday's coming up.
I've got this thing where I think if your mother and father are still alive, you should buy them a gift for bringing you into the world.
Yeah. Thanks for all that hardship and pain.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They are.
Yeah, well, I actually did send my mum a really nice text the night before my birthday. So saying, I can imagine what it was like for you 55 years ago. And then she replied, I was talking about some other stuff in there as well as being really nice to her. And then she replied and she said, oh, well, actually, I went to the doctors and now I've been sent to the hospital. And I thought, what? My mum's in hospital? But she was talking about 55 years ago. So here I am doing this mad phoning to my sister. Where's Mum? How's Mum? What's going on? And she was talking about what happened 55 years ago.
As they do.
So it is funny. Yeah, as they do. Hello, parents can do that. You know, they have their ways of making their children pay, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, we was actually discussing this yesterday in our spirit communication circle. One girl said, Jesus, did I really decide to come back here for all this crap? She said, I said, you've either been a very naughty girl and you didn't learn your lessons last time, or yes, you did decide to come back.
That's right. Yeah. I say it every week because people are always asking me, why did I sign up for this? And I say, well, wouldn't you want to be here? This is history in the making. Yeah. You look at things like Auschwitz. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of people all nominated to be alive during that process, and a few million of those, 40 million of them, decided to go into those gas chambers to be those numbers so we remember them in the future.
Yeah.
So, it's history in the making type stuff.
Yeah.
In another 2,000 years, because, our soul will still be around, we'll look back on this century that we're in a part of, and we'll say, wow, do you remember that time when we were back in the 2020s? And they'll go, yeah, high five me because I saw that too, you know?
Yeah.
So, you've got to put it into that perspective.
In this conversation yesterday, a lady who was channeling, I'm not sure who she was channeling, and I can't confirm this, but apparently there's a queue to come back here.
I actually believe that. I believe that.
Not so sure here with this one.
But I actually believe that because, you can only come here when a soul is conceived, So there would have to be like 20 or 50 or 3 million people saying, I want that one. Yeah. So, I sort of agree with that, Mike. Yeah. Because there's more souls than lives, obviously, So, everyone would be putting up their hands up. I want to go to COVID. I want to go to the COVID party. Oh, my God, what were we thinking?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind, but, they take away your ability to remember why you came here. So not only have you got to do the work, you've got to remember first why you came here.
That's right. What was that lesson again?
Yeah.
What am I here for this time? Oh, mate, I know mine is patience.
Yeah.
You know, because I get it every day.
Yeah.
Patience, Lynda, patience. And it's like, again. You know, so I know one of my big ones this time is patience, because I'm very spontaneous.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so when people say, oh, we're doing this in 3 days, it's like, no, I want to do it now. Yeah, so, wow. We've got an awesome show tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I'll just let...
Did you get some good stuff together for us? I'm so proud of you. You know, and I come on, I'll give you a rave now. You know, I know men, they love their ego boost, but regardless of that, you know, what you get to find, you know, I sit here for a few hours over the weekend thinking, oh, is this one worthy to put on the show? Nah. Then I'll do another one, nah. Then I'll I'll watch a whole hour hoping to get like a 3-minute snippet that we can use, nah. Then I look at the clock, 4 p.m., where did that go?
Yeah.
And then you just come out with these great videos.
Some of them, they sort of just fall into my lap. Other times I have to work hard for it. And I normally find when I've got to work hard for it, it's not the direction they want me to go. So then I just sit back, let it go, and let it happen. So, but I'll just let them know what we got on the show tonight. We're going to start off looking at the ghost caught on this pop promo. It's out in your neck of the woods out there. I'll just put up a little map to let people know where it is. Then there's the ghost bike, and of course with the ghost bike, please let us know what you think. Bullshit or a paranormal experience, and the mirror, the fascinating mirror. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to influence people's views on this. Then we're going to be looking at the vanishing lady, which is kind of been described as an urban myth, an urban legend, but there's a lot of similarities to the what's his name, Telly Savalas type of thing.
And I'll give you all a hint.
Yep.
I even got goosebumps when I watched it.
Okay.
So there you go. If it gave me goosebumps, you know it's worthy to watch, guys.
Right.
Yeah, so to hang around for that one because it gave me goosebumps.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then we're going to look at... I had a great conversation with a lady called Ashley Marks who had an NDE. And I put this up because, Lynda, it's what she experienced was quite similar to yours.
Yeah,
and
I've got a page of notes here that I actually wrote just about her. Look, there it is. I've got heaps of stuff that I've written down, the similarities, etc. Yeah.
So, but if people want to see the full conversation, I'll put a link up after. And then finally we got what I call we got Waverley Mansion, some really spooky goings on there. It's a part of neck of the woods. You know, where there was a lot of enslavement and, you know, the cotton pickers really didn't have any rights. So there's a lot of emotion in and around this area. And then we're going to look at what I call the Marmite lady, Teresa Capuccio. You either like her or you don't. And she'll be giving a little interview. So, unless you've got anything to say, Lynda, shall we crack on?
Now, as you know, I can talk under wet cement, Mike, but let's crack into some of these videos.
Okay. Well, this first one is a pop promo shot out in Glen Davis. There it is. You can see it's, it looks quite close to Sydney, but I'm sure it's about 3,000 miles away, knowing the size of Australia. I noticed that, that Sydney to Newcastle was... 167 miles, I think, which is about the distance from London to Sheffield. So, you know, just to give the people who are not from Australia the absolute magnitude, the size of Australia, it's massive. And Jeff actually says that he's been there plenty of times. So, super.
Well, there you go.
So, okay, let's have a look at this one. The ghost caught on video because it's got a lot of history to this area, as Jeff will know. Whoops, here we go.
With the fast edits, the switches from colour to black and white, It's not something you'd pick up watching a video hit show at home on television. But slow one particular image down and enhance it and see what happens. There in the background is a figure, a human figure, a figure without a face. The dark and turbulent past of this historical part of Australia. The place is called Glen Davis, and it's just outside Lithgow in western New South Wales. And no one knows it better than Leonie Knapman, who grew up here. And Glen Davis degenerated into a ghost town. And he wasn't there for the shoot, but he remembers vividly the first time he heard about the mysterious unpaid extra lurking in the background at Glen Davis.
One of the members of the band, Noel, virtually came flying in over the telephone and said, "You just wouldn't believe what's happened here. We've discovered there's a figure on film that basically nobody can account for on the day of the shoot. You know, in real terms, we think that there's a ghost on the video."
A ghost in dark clothing, possibly wearing an overcoat. A ghost without a face. Leonie Knapman, the Glen Davis historian, actually helped the producers choose the site where the clip was filmed. And she took us back to the exact spot the other day. Leonie, too, is mystified by the ghostly guest appearance. But she does have her theories.
At first I thought maybe somebody had come down off the mountain just to watch the filming. But when you watch the video and you watch the figure, there does not appear to be a face. It's very unclear. And so you wonder about the deaths that occurred in the area. Whilst nobody actually died in the powerhouse, one of the workers did die upstream and his body was washed down into the bend of the river just over from this location. One of the others to die was actually in the retort area, and his head was almost severed in a very bad accident, and he died later in hospital. So who knows, it could explain the face that's missing from the figure.
Maybe. But there's one more twist to this ghostly tale. Enhance the video image even more, and you may see that not only is the figure faceless, at times the head looks as though it is severed from the body.
Well, there we are. Now, before we can talk about that, look, Samantha says she's seen Caputo live. Very close to her. She walked right past me. It was in an arena and read my friend's best friend who passed and was spot on. Yeah, she is actually the business. Just got a very bizarre way of doing things. But anyway, we'll get more into that in a minute. But back to this one, Lynda.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Jeff says it's haunted. He's been there.
Yeah, well, I've been watching the comments. Jeff saying that it's 4 hours away from where he is. I think that's where he is. It's called the Shale Refinery. You know, there's a hell of a lot of haunted old locations around the place. You know, chances are you could go to any old mill, train carriage facility or anything, and you'd find a ghost there at some point. But the one thing that I'm not liking about this footage is that it's very grainy.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously they filmed it that way for their music clip. But because of the age of this film, I'm going to say it's real, because this was done years ago before digital photography came in.
Yeah.
So when you've got the old chukka film happening, it was extremely hard to edit CGI effects over the top of it. So, you know, this is actually an old clip, but because I've researched it since I watched it. But, you know, the fact that it's there, you can't dispute that's humanoid figure standing there. Yes. But for the guy to say there's no face and how the head sort of disappears from their body. That could be just a distortion of the film. I don't know, but I'm not going to dispute it I'm not going to debunk it, because in my theory, that is something in there because of the age of the film, and basically they're not filming that it's behind the crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't an intentional, oh, look at that, there's a ghost sitting there. Yeah, it could have been someone dressed up. It could have been an extra on set or something. But hello, you know, you look at a lot of movies out there. What was that famous one with Johnny Depp, whereas that Captain Sparrow, those movies? There's a guy there, one of the extras is standing on the back of the boat, wearing jeans and his cowboy hat, right in view of the pirate movie.
Right.
So, you know, accidents do occur.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I don't think it was an intentional person standing there. I think it is paranormal.
Yeah.
That's what I want to believe anyway.
Oh, well, that's really nice. Jeff says he's going to send his aerial shots from there. Super.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
get out your drone, Jeff.
Yeah,
I know he's got a drone because I've watched some of his videos.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't see a severed head in that thing. I just saw something faceless. So, you know, you have to be careful that the guy presenting this is leading us to think in a certain way.
Yes.
But I agree with you. You know, when this video was done, even so, CGI was at its infancy, and this was like tape that was being used.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, apparently Jeff says this is close to Madgie, if that's how it's pronounced. Madgie. Madgie.
Come on, Jeff. Sorry, Mike, you got to get your Aussie slang happening. It's called Madgie. Madgie.
There we go.
Madgie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to start talking like an Aboriginal when you're talking Aboriginal names. Hey, brother, it's Mudgee country out there, brother. It's Mudgee. Mudgee.
I've got a lot
Sorry.
I've just, you know, spent 14 years trying to teach my American wife English. So, you know, because it's one nation divided by two languages. But anyway, so it's the wine town, apparently, Jeff says. So there you go. Super duper.
There you go.
Alrighty. Well, look, let's move on to this this next one. This is the ghost bike. So now let's play true or false.
Hang on. Yeah, let's play true or false, guys. So get out your little keyboard warriors. Watch the footage and I'd like comments. Do you think it's real or fake? As Mike said before, is it bullshit or real?
Yeah.
Whatever you want, you know, whatever terminology you want to use in the comments, but let us know. Let's play true or false here, okay?
Or
is it real or fake?
Another way, is it fake or paranormal? There's the official way.
That's it. Is it paranormal or fake? Let's go there.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's that one. Well, I've got my opinion on that one.
I've got an opinion too.
I'll give you my opinion.
So, hang on. Let someone comment. Is it real or fake?
Yeah, well, Joanne has, and she says it's paranormal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I may be the odd one out here. My experience is that spirit can have a lot of power and a lot of force and can throw you across a room.
I've had a car engine thrown at me, Mike. Remember that?
Yeah.
They can pick up things because there's no weight to their energy.
And Jeff said it could be pre-ignition. And I do know of automatic cars that somehow have just locked into gear and have started driving round and round and round. But there's just it's just a feeling. It doesn't feel right for me. But I'm very well happy if it's paranormal. What do you think, Lynda?
All right, are you ready for what I think?
Yeah.
Please know, I have I've only ridden a bike once. The bike went forward, I went down on my butt, and that was the only time I've ever been on a motorbike. Okay?
Yeah.
So please laugh at that. But I do know a couple of things about the mechanics of a bike. One, they have two wheels. And the front wheel is already at an angle, if you watch it from the beginning again.
Yeah.
The wheel is already in that position to roll around.
Right.
The second thing, on a bike, it has that little stick-down steel thing to hold it up.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. The holder or the stand-upper device, whatever you want to call it.
Or the stick thing.
That's the stick thing. Thank you. Thank you for being so technical with me there, Mike. The stick thing is engaged.
Yeah.
So that's out. And as the bike comes around with the normal motion of the bike, that stick thing is touching the ground, it doesn't move. So it moves around like this with the bike.
Right.
Where it's touching the ground, right? Mm-hmm. And then it falls over. So to add a little bit of more evidence to the theory is what Jeff said. Pre-ignition. I don't know what pre-ignition is. It sounds like a male term to me. But anyway, whatever pre-ignition, or whatever he calls it, but whatever that means.
Naughty, naughty.
It could do something before it's supposed to do it, you know? So pre-ignition, I don't know what that means, but I do know that there could be some sort of electrical charge or something still in the engine, and also there's no audio, so you don't know if the thing's on.
Yeah.
But there is one thing, and no one's picked it up yet. Let me check the comments. No.
But Jeff says it's an EGO term, and Jeff, I'm not technical-minded.
Now he's lost me on what is EGO. Whatever that. Oh, it's going straight over my head because I'm not techie. Yeah. All right, but there's one thing that no one has discussed yet with this footage. Just before the bike takes off, there is a glitch in the film.
Ah, okay.
There's a little glitch.
Should we have a little
in
look?
The film. Yes.
Let's go back and have a little look. Here we go.
Because something paranormal was occurring. So that's what we have to think about. We've got to go outside of that box. Is that glitch just from the camera having a little brain melt?
Right.
Or is it an electrical charge from whatever's creating that bike to move?
Right.
Okay? Because an entity, whether it's a spirit, ghost, or other thing, it would be emitting some sort of energy charge to move that bike.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I would love to say it's paranormal, but I'm only going to say about 40% that it's paranormal, because if the wheel moved and it took a different direction, I'd say, oh my God, how did that move? But it looks like it's just following the balance line of the bike, and where that stick thing is that comes down and it's touching the ground.
The technical name is the stand.
There you go. Who said that?
Jeff.
Was that you, Mike?
Jeff.
Yep. Okay. All right. So where the stand comes down and it's touching the ground, that part does not move. So the bike is just going around, and honestly, it looks like it's just doing a balance trick.
Right. Okay.
You know, where you can balance something and then it just like rolls around on itself. You know, it may be doing that, but I'd love it more, as I said, if the wheels moved or something, you know, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to dispute it because, hello, that's why it's on the show.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say, no, definitely not. Well, we have had some things that I've said definitely not. But I'm not going to say it's definitely not. I'll say it's about 40%. 40% yes, 60% not at this point until I get further information to support it.
Rightio.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was unfortunately that was all there was. I didn't edit that from anything. So.
But darling.
Yeah.
That's why we do these shows, to debunk it, so then people learn.
Yeah.
So when they watch footage of their own and they go, oh, wow, it moved by itself. And then they say, oh, hello, Lynda said this thing that night, and then she said this thing, and Mike said this thing, and then Mike said this thing. So I've got to look for that, and I've got to look for this, and I've got to look for this. So that's how we learn it, you know? And that's the purpose of these shows, is to, you know, I'm not egotistical here. I teach people every day about how to hunt ghosts and stuff. You do the same, Mike, and that's why we're here, you know? So, yeah, anyone watching this, watch it again, hopefully on a big screen, so you can see the stand, you can see the way the wheel just goes in its natural progression around, and there is a glitch there. There is a glitch. So why was there a glitch? That's all I'm thinking. You know, there's that little bit of the footage just goes a little bit warped. Yeah, so, you know, that all adds into debunking. Yeah, so, you know, I just like identifying the things that we look for when we debunk things. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, let's move on and have a look at this mirror. This is either paranormal or a very, very clever trick with mirrors, an illusional David Copperfield type of thing, or it is a real paranormal experience. I've done a little work on this, and I'm going to show you my findings on this after, but let's just take a quick look. Here we go.
I gotta get somebody phone. He's gonna freak out. Wait, I don't know. Okay, so I don't understand. You're filming a guy that stole it? No, look, just keep watching. It's crazy. Wait, I know. What? I know. Like, how is that? I don't know. What? He's gonna freak out. Wait, I don't know. Okay, so I don't understand. You're filming a guy that stole it? No, look, just keep watching. It's crazy. Wait, I know. What? I know. Like, how is that? I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay, I'm going to put myself out on the line here and tell you that I think this is a trick, and I'll tell you why. Okay, if I can find it again. Here we go. Hang on.
There.
Right, now.
I gotta get somebody phone. He's gonna freak out. Okay. I don't understand. You're filming a guy that stole it? No, look, just keep watching. It's crazy. Wait, I know. What? I know.
What do you think? What do people think? Candid camera show. Was this a set up, one of the Candid camera shows? Different movement in the mirror, correct. That's what I found.
And you've got to look at that woman. She's not moving at all. She's just virtually sitting there holding a phone.
Right.
So her reflection is the same.
Yeah.
The guy that moves across, he would have known, okay, 3, 2, 1, walk, right leg, left leg, stand there. So, yeah. And you've got to also look at the guy that walks through that's not reflected.
Right.
Look at how he's dressed. He's like Freddie Krueger, for gosh sake, you know? You know, he actually reminded me of Freddie Krueger with the hat and the, you know, has he got a like a knife hand or something on? You know, he looks out of place. You know what I mean?
Let's have a look again. Let's.
I gotta get somebody from Of course. Yeah, he's gonna freak out. Wait, I don't know. Okay, so I don't understand. You're filming a guy that stole it? No, look, just keep watching. It's crazy. Wait, I know. What? I know. How is that? I don't know. What the? It's crazy.
So there we are.
Enter Freddie Krueger. Well, no, it looks a lot more like, well, he hasn't got a hat on, but he reminds me of Freddie, you know, the horror movie guy.
Yeah.
I know he said Freddie
Friday the
Mercury
13th.
then.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, yeah, that's set up. And you can also tell it's a handheld, someone's just videoing it because the camera moves.
Right.
So it's not a security. See, this is something else that you look for, guys. That's handheld because it's moving. The actual camera's moving.
Yeah. Security
Cameras don't move. They're always static.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, and you usually get a timestamp on there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, sorry, Mike. That one, give that one the red buzzer.
I think
I'm sorry to say it.
We're all in agreement that this is someone trying to be smart, or, as Jeff said, part of Candid camera show to try and trick someone. But actually,
but you know, we've got to show the fakes so then we know what we're seeing when we see the real ones.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's true. You've got to look at a lot of fake ones first and say, how did they do it? So then when you see a real one, you can't say, oh, that was that, that was that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got to show the fake ones in there so you guys learn it as well. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, there is a technique that the old Victorian theatre people used to do. Obviously, they didn't have holograms or hologram technology, and there's this thing, and you can look it up on YouTube, and it's really worth it. It's called Pepper's Ghost, and it's all to do with mirrors and how they position someone off stage, and they do the lighting and probably in a boxed mirror, and they'd have the smoke or whatever. And then this is reflected to a mirror on the stage, but you don't actually see that the reflection is a mirror. And so it can give this spooky effect. And this is how they do the effect of chopping someone's head off live on a stage. They're actually chopping nothing because they're chopping just an image on a mirror. It's called Pepper's Ghost, and you know, you can do this as a Halloween trick, for example. You can put ghosts in the window on Halloween dancing around. So yeah, you know, this kind of technology, this old technology, could be used here. This type of thing is what they're doing.
Yeah.
But Jeff says her finger points before he crosses the mirror. Should we have another quick look at that? See what Jeff,
let's have a look at her finger. So are we looking at the girl sitting down on her phone, are we?
I think so. Let's have a look. Let's get the mirror. So her finger points before he crosses the mirror. Let's have a look.
I gotta get somebody from Of course. Yeah, he's gonna freak out. Wait,
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's how you debunk these things.
Yeah.
You know, you got to just slow it down, rewind it, slow it down, rewind it.
Well, Jeff says,
Watch it again.
I was wrong. I don't think you were, Jeff. I think you were quite right.
I don't
actually.
think you were either.
No.
Yeah.
You saw something.
Because the more you study it, the more we will pick up that's wrong in it.
Yeah.
So there you go, Jeff. You weren't wrong.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
The vanishing.
It's all good.
The vanishing lady. I'll give
Oh
you
my gosh.
a little bit of a heads up here. They call this an urban legend. Urban legends, in my experience, begin because nobody can disprove it or prove it, whatever, right? But
Yeah.
we saw in a few shows back Telly Savalas having a kind of experience where he got a lift in the car, and this spirit gave him the phone number of when he phoned the lady up. She said, "You son of a bitch, my husband died 2 years ago." So there was that.
Yeah.
We also have, Vince Neil, visitation from his daughter. So there's a lot of this. I think we can easily put down to as, oh, it's just a story, because without going there, I just want to briefly say that there was a post put up, and it was, people are not mad at you for not wearing a mask. They're mad at you for letting them see that you're not afraid and showing their fears by doing this. And this is the same thing. When we get something like this, people don't want to believe it, and they get frightened by it, and it's so much more comfortable to say, oh, it's a good story, and that's all there is to it.
That's right. They don't want to overthink it. They don't want to critical think it. They don't want to really delve into that deep, dark corner of, could this be real? You know, so they just shrug it off. Oh, yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, they've, it takes a lot to admit that this stuff is real. You know, because it breaks down that whole three-dimensional blue pill society that we have.
Yeah.
You know, I actually call it the blue pill society. You know, reference there to the Matrix. Because, you know, once you learn a little bit, then you're not trusting this little bit, and then you don't trust that bit because you've just disproven this bit.
Yeah.
So it starts, that veil just disappears slowly and surely, it cracks away.
Yeah.
Until there's no way back.
No.
You know, you're down that rabbit hole, and you can claw all your way back to that blue pill society, but it'll never happen again.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Well, okie doke, let's move on.
Let's watch it. This is cool.
Let's look at the vanishing lady. Here we go.
This story begins at night. A man drives down a dark road. It may be unfamiliar to him, and he may not be sure where he's going. After a while, he feels a little lost. Suddenly, up ahead, a figure looms in his headlights. He slows down and sees that it's a young girl hitchhiking. It's strange that she'd be out here in the middle of nowhere. He stops to ask if everything is okay. She asks for a ride home. He says that's fine and tells her to hop in. As they head down the road, he notices that she looks pale. The air around her feels cold, and she's strangely quiet. Finally, the driver asks where she's going.
So, where are you heading to?
She gives him directions to her home. She says she hasn't been there in a long time. The driver thinks she's a runaway and that he's doing a good deed by giving her a lift. They pull up to her parents' house in a typical neighborhood, and she climbs out. But as the driver is about to take off, he notices that the strange girl has left her scarf on the passenger seat. Looking around, he's surprised to discover she's gone. Weird. He didn't see her go inside. So with the scarf in hand, he heads for the house to return it. He knocks on the door and is met by a normal-looking gentleman. The driver explains about giving the daughter a ride and how she left her scarf in the car.
Left the scarf.
Suddenly, the man's wife reacts with shock.
When did she just kind of disappear? too.
The driver wonders what's wrong.
That scarf belonged to our daughter.
The husband brings him inside and explains that his daughter died in a car crash 5 years ago, on the same dark road where she was picked up. She was buried with the scarf. Our driver's young passenger was a ghost.
There you go, Lynda. It's all yours. Over to you.
Okay, first thing I want to point out is how they say he went up to the door and he was approached by a normal looking man. What's normal about this whole story, you know? But okay, a couple of things, because I've written down a few things here. First one, where he said she was pale and the air around her was cold.
Right.
If ever you're driving down a dark country lane and you pick up a hitchhiker and the air around them gets cold, put on your damn thinking hats, guys, and get out the video. Yeah. Because chances are there's a ghost hitchhiking in your car.
Yeah.
Okay? Jeff mentioned here some parkway, Parkhurst Parkway, I think it is, down in New South Wales. Wakehurst?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of highways in New South Wales and Queensland. They're majorly haunted. I've got about 6 major highways around here where I've seen ghosts every time I drive down there. I should go down there with my cameras rolling. You know, a lot of highways do have ghosts there, but because we're not tuned in to see them, we don't see them. Okay? So this spirit of this girl, I don't think she was a spirit. I think she's a ghost, to tell you the truth, the difference.
Right.
She's just wanting to go home. But my biggest thing here, the scarf. If she was buried in that scarf, how was it left in his car where he could physically pick it up and take it inside and then hold it up to her photo of where she was holding it years and years ago, and it's the same scarf? I want to see the scarf, Mike. I want to see that scarf. I want to see the photo of her wearing it, and I want to see the scarf that's left in his car.
Right.
Because that would be the 100% bourgeois moment saying, stuff is all, this stuff's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Should we just take
This story begins at the passenger seat. Looking around, he's surprised to discover she's gone. Weird. He didn't see her go inside. So with the scarf in hand, he heads for the house to return it. He knocks on the door and is met by a normal-looking gentleman.
Discussed ectoplasm before, where things can materialize into 3-dimensional things.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is like an ectoplasm type situation with the scarf, or have you got other thoughts on the topic?
Well, there's a problem because, there's a problem. Spirit can do, if they've got the right authority, can do pretty much. Depending how long she would have passed, that scarf would have been in threads. Unless Spirit would say, okay, we're giving you this opportunity, we're going to repair it for you so this can be presented. I would say this is an ectoplasmic type of thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if they woke up in the morning and found that the scarf was gone.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. Because the reason why there's no footage out there of them saying this is the scarf, because it vanished. As soon as that situation of those events happen, she's now dissolved, dematerialized, whatever you want to say. When she disappears into nothing, so would have the scarf.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I think that perhaps the way it all works upstairs is we are going to give you the opportunity to give your parents some kind of closure.
Absolutely.
Right, because,
and that's the last bit that I wanted to talk about.
Right.
You know, this is closure, not just for, you know, her finding her way home, because, you know, she said, I haven't been home in a long time. She's probably been standing on that side of the road for 5 years trying to get someone to pick her up.
Yeah.
And he's the first one. So she's been there a long time. So you can understand now why she's saying, oh, my God, I've been standing here for so long. All I want to do is go home.
Yeah.
She doesn't realise that she died. So here we have a spirit who just doesn't know that she's died. So she's walked in the home, and she was probably there when they were discussing it too, by the way.
Yeah.
Wondering why they're talking about her saying that she's dead.
Yeah.
Mum, I'm standing right here. Can't you see me now? You know, it could have been that situation.
And of course, it could have been, Lynda, that the higher realms, the white lighters, have decided it's time for you, young lady, to come home. So you need to realise that you have passed.
That's right.
Could be a whole combination.
They do put us into those situations. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, they do present those opportunities, so we get that opportunity to go into that white light or whatever you want to call it, to go home.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
but for the parents, what a confirmation that their daughter is still out there.
Yeah.
You know,
alive.
Their grief
Still
would have
alive.
been horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, their grief would have been horrendous. I don't know how they would have slept for a week after him knocking on their door.
Yeah.
You know, if it was my child, I wouldn't be able to sleep for a week after that.
Yeah.
You know, pulling out the old photos, pulling out any videos or anything on that child to look at and just reminisce over it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I hope that it did give that peace to the parents that that day for her when that car accident occurred wasn't the end of the story for her, that she has gone on and she's given them that hope that there is a further reality out there that we do go to.
Yeah.
You know, I could honestly say, you know, if these guys were real religious, like nuts, you know, going to church every Saturday, their whole belief system has now changed to the point where they may not be able to go back to that same church again, and because now they know something, because they've experienced it. So there's that crack in that veil again, you know, the blue pillars, where, you know, we're starting to wake up. So I hope that whatever they went through with their transgression of this situation, that they got through it okay.
Yeah.
You know, the girl's fine.
Yeah.
We know that she's fine. She's out there hitchhiking still.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that took her there, he's got a big learning curve here. Oh my God, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think it's the parents who I feel the most sorry for there. You know, hoping that they got that peace after he told them the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if he was still holding that scarf, because that would have just been the absolute, oh my God moment.
I mean, it is a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because, like you say, if they are religious, the fact that they've been presented with this scarf gives them some kind of hope and closure. On the other hand, everything they've been taught, let's just assume they're Catholics. You know, I'll tell you, when my mother passed, the priest at the church, he's giving it all the spiel, as they do, and then he comes out, which I can only feel is nonsense. He said, Olga is now at rest, waiting to rise, and she can only communicate to God through the Holy Mother. And I'm thinking, holy shit, right, all these people are mourning here, and you're making it really, really comfortable for them now, aren't you? You know, but now if somebody was religious enough to believe that, and my mum should pay them a visit, wow, that throws their whole lifetime of religious belief out the window, unless you're in total denial. Because,
absolutely,
you know, I can only tell you about my church, the Catholic Church, and their philosophy is, well, you know, it's probably devilment, making you believe it's your mother, because that's what devils do.
Yeah.
You know, then I can't even discuss on that level. I just won't even go there. No.
I had a nice little chat with, his name was Father John, and he was at the church that I was going to when I was about 15 till I was about 17. Every Sunday we'd go to church, and it was an Anglican church. And one day everyone's talking, you know, as they do after they have the congregation, and then everyone starts leaving, everyone's having chats. I went up to the poor Father John, and I just said, Father John, how often do you see ghosts in this building? And he said, oh no, there's no ghosts in this building because I'm the Father and I know that we all go to heaven after we pass. And I just looked at him like, yeah, and I was only like 16 at the time. And I was thinking, well, I can see this woman standing at the back that no one else is looking at. I know she's not there because she's see-through. And he's saying that they don't stay. So that was a little clue for me, don't go back to that church again, you know, because he didn't know a simple question. He had to answer it in accordance with the doctrines that he'd been taught.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and that's where that boundary comes in with religion. You throw a spanner outside that box that they're aware of, and they don't know how to answer it.
Right.
You know, they don't know. They really don't know.
Well,
you know, and it...
Jeff tells us, he said, I'll tell you about my mum's funeral sometime. Please do, Jeff, because as far as I understand, your mum was a great medium. As I understand. So that'd be interesting to hear about that at some point. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe him do a little video so we can watch it.
Yeah.
Do a little video and submit it to Mike, Jeff.
With a little
like a little 3-minute video with some, like, if you've got any photos or news clips or something from her, so we can have a discussion about her. Yeah. Yeah.
And also, Jeff, you can do a little sax intro.
I've got my keyboards here because I'm a piano player, so you can have me doing the skittles.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Anyway,
we're pushing on time again. We've still got a bit to get through. Let's have a quick look at Waverley Mansion. Quite a moving thing, really, here. So here we go.
The Waverley Mansion rises out of the woods near West Point, Mississippi. And like the Myrtles, this plantation home is also famed for a spirit, and a tiny one at that.
All through the years, we just refer to her as Little Girl Lost, there again because we think that she is lost and she's looking for her mother.
Plantation house. Over the years, hard work has returned this historic antebellum home to its original beauty and awakened the spirit within.
Well, I was about 12 years old the first time I saw her. I had just come upstairs to bed, and I glanced across the hallway to the stairway behind me. The little girl was standing there, right at the bottom of the stairs, and she was staring into my room as though she thought she could see someone, but she wasn't very sure. So I stood quietly and I watched her for a moment. She stood there for probably a good 2 or 3 minutes, and then she walked up the stairway out of my sight.
And Mrs. Snow, the present owner's wife, was the first one to hear the little voice. And she was here alone one day and decided to come up on the second floor and work in this bedroom. And she said as she crossed the floor, she
it just stops.
Huh.
It's all good, Mike.
So,
it's all good. You do such a great job getting these videos out there, so don't worry about it.
Interesting. So, I mean, let me just tell the people, give them a quick heads up. This is where Waverley Mansion is, round about the Mississippi area there. So, you know, there is a lot of, it's steeped in black culture, black slavery. I believe this house was a plantation house for the
That's what they were called.
Yeah, Jeff, the video is freezing. That's a bloody nuisance. But anyway, okay, so we got enough there. Lynda, why do you think these spirits, especially a child like that, doesn't go home? Why do they stay there, do you think? I mean, there's a million reasons, but, you know...
So, straight from my book, Ghosts Exposed, there's a plug.
Which you can get where?
You know, at my website, www.lyndaray.info. Okay. So, or email me at lynda@lyndaray.info. Anyway, you know, because I've spoken to so many ghosts over the years, and they're the ones that taught me what they are and what they can see and how they interact and their version of time, you know, their perspective of time. Why most kids stay? Because I've got a little girl that lives in my house. Well, she doesn't live here. She inhabits here, okay, because she's not living anymore. She doesn't know she's passed. And because she's a young child, like the little one that I've got here, I don't even know her name. I just call her baby because she's about 3 to 5 years old. She doesn't even know her age. But she's just lost. You know, like I put it out there like, you know, when you walk through a shopping centre and you see a kid on the side of some aisle and it's like, oh, where's Mummy? I'm lost. And, you know that lost kid look.
Yeah.
That's what they do, you know. Because they don't know where to go. They don't know, you know, because they're used to being told what to do because they're still babies, you know, having someone looking after them. So whenever we've got situations, especially children, most times they don't know they've passed because they don't have that knowledge or that wisdom that we acquire in our age of when, like, our parents die, our brothers die, our great-grandparents die, your schoolmate dies, you go to their funeral, we have that grieving process, we say our prayers, etc., at the funeral, etc. Children under, like, 8 don't experience that, so they have no fathom of that transmutation from one existence to the other.
Right.
So when they're a living child, when they die and now they're a ghost or a spirit, they don't realise that is different to the other because they haven't had that knowledge or that wisdom that comes with us now in our 20s. You know what I mean, Mike? We're in our 20s, right? So, you know, but generally, like in my book, Ghost Exposed, 2 things happen when we die. One, we go home. Yay, thank you for that. But if we stay a ghost, there's 2 reasons why we stay a ghost. One is we know we've died and we want to stay because we love something so passionately, like that girl before on the highway. Remember I said I think that she's a ghost because she wanted to go home and let her parents know that she was okay.
Right.
That's what I think here with that story. She loved her parents, so she's forsaking her own destiny of going home. She's delaying that by staying as a ghost. So the ones that stay because they know they're dead, they've got that unfinished business.
Right.
But then, like children, and like the Shelley story in my book, that 17-year-old that was here for 3 days, that drove me nuts, she didn't know she'd died because it was a very sudden event.
Yeah.
So usually with sudden events, you know, it's different to, say, cancer where the doctor says, oh, you've got 6 months. So then you go home and you think, oh, my God, I've got to get my affairs in order, get my will in order. Are you going to be able to just do this, you know, training the next partner? How are you going to cope doing this because I won't be here to help you do that? So you get that time to set your affairs in order. But, you know, in my book I actually say you go to the shop, all you need is milk, So you're driving 2 kilometres down the road for milk, and a guy runs a red light, boom, you'll still go to that shop for the milk because you're thinking about going home, having breakfast with your partner and your kids, getting them to school or whatever, getting to work, and you're standing at the fridge thinking, why can't I open the fridge door to get the milk out?
Right, yeah.
Because that's the last thought going through their head, because they don't know that they've died. And I think that's what's happening with this poor little girl.
Right.
She's still merrily playing in it. It's her house. You know, you can tell by the way she's running around. She's not one of the slaves' children, or else she'd be outside in the back shed.
No.
So she's obviously one of the plantation's daughters, the plantation owner's daughters, or hierarchy in that family household. And she's staying there because she doesn't know that progression that's occurred from dying to the entity come. That's what I think.
Okay, well, I'll try and...
Time to shut up now, Linda.
No, I'll try and pull that video up for next week in its completion. Try and get that.
Yeah.
But
no, it's all good, darling.
As we steadily roll on. Last summer I had a conversation with Ashley Marks. She had an NDE when she was a young girl. It was a Halloween school prank. And her experience in the NDE was very similar to yours. I'll just run it. It's about 6 minutes. I'll just run it and then we can chat about it after. So here we go.
Sweet.
I remember hearing last run through and I thought, I'm going to make it really good. So I tightened the rope like up on my neck, up higher. And that was a bad idea because I didn't think and account for when you jump it raises up, and so I didn't account for that. And so I had it like right up underneath my neck when I jumped. And I remember jumping, and I remember jumping so hard that I remember swinging against an adjoining wall, like hitting the wall when I jumped, because I jumped so hard. And I remember it coming like almost, like right up underneath my neck, completely underneath my neck. And the stool, I was looking for it, like frantically trying to find it with my feet. Right. And I remember hearing it tip over. Oh. I remember turning, and the wall that had the slit, like my spirit turning. So it wasn't me turning, but like my spirit turning. Right. It was crazy. And I saw the split in the sheets where the strobe lights were. Yeah. And my spirit thought, oh, that's like a really pretty light, Right. And the next thing I knew, the strobe light became one ball of light. And it became like a whole bunch of little light bulbs put together into one glowing light that was like in front of me. And it was so like, I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like this is just amazing. I can't believe like how beautiful this is. I was trying to like piece together. I didn't even think about my body. Look at this light. Like I became more of myself, and I instantly felt like I was being drawn to this light. And like, you hear everybody say, go towards the light, that, obviously comes from something, and it was real. Like, I'm just this little girl, and I wasn't scared. I didn't feel apprehensive. It was just going towards this whole wall. Like the room just became the light, Right. And I remember like floating towards it or going to, I don't know how you even explain it. It wasn't like you were, I don't know. You were just like drawn to it. And I remember going into the light and it being enveloped, like it becoming me. And all of a sudden, all of these spirits, I don't know what to call it, but family members, loved ones, people that I didn't know here on earth, but I knew in heaven. So my grandfather was there. My dad lost his brother in a car accident years before I was born. He was there.
And you recognized him?
I recognized him and knew him instantly on who he was. And I wasn't seeing people. Like I was seeing like maybe the shape or the out shape of light that was kind of like in the shape of a body-ish. Yeah. But it was as though I recognized their soul. And the next thing I knew, and I remember them telling me, and they didn't talk like with talking mouths or anything like that. they talked with, like, I don't know, I was able to understand them just by them thinking, you know, what they were thinking.
Okay.
And I remember them saying, "Oh, you're here early." Like, oh my goodness, what are you doing here? Like, I remember feeling this, like, surprise and shock that I was here as early as I was here, you know, from them. Like, they knew something, you know, and I was like, oh, you know, like, where is here? But it's weird because you didn't even question where is here. It was almost as though you knew, oh, I am here. Like, this is home. This is where I'm supposed to be. There was never, like, this question of, oh my goodness, you know, I died. Where am I? Am I in heaven? That doesn't even come through for me, it didn't come, you know, as a question. I had two of them, but I had one in particular that I knew was, quote unquote, my spirit guide. I don't know how to explain it, but like somebody who knows me and who was like assigned to me in a way, like that was a part of me.
Right.
And I don't know, like and I remember that being a huge, like, calming awakening. Like, I remember them coming up to me and it being like, there you are, you know, like like feeling, oh, there you are. Like it's almost like a child seeing their mom. Okay. And it was like this feeling of I'm finally with like that radiant of love. And I didn't feel that it was God. I felt like it was like your spirit guide or archangel, they call it, or whatever. But at the time I didn't know what that was, you know, or of any of that. And they said, you have to come with us. It was the two of them, but one in particular. Right. I said, okay. I remember looking into the dome hologram thing or becoming part of it. I don't know how I became, but anyway, I remember seeing it, and I was able to live out my short life because I was only 12, right. But I was able to feel everything I've ever felt in my entire life. I was able to witness everything I had experienced from not only my perspective, but other people's perspective. Like, I could become my dad. I could become somebody who was watching on the side. Anyone who had a part of an experience, I could become them, or I could witness it from an outside perspective. And I become them, and I feel them. I feel what they felt. I learned about, like, it wasn't just about me.
There we go. So, Lynda, similar to yours?
So many things. Oh my God, so many similarities. Where she said that she was drawn to the light, it's like a magnetic pull. And, you know, it's like an attraction. So unless you've experienced, you know, you say attraction, but you get that drawing in where you've got no way of it's like being sucked into a, what do they use on spaceships in sci-fi movies where they send out the force beam? That's what it's like. It's like that force beam where they suck you in, that attraction drawn. Where she said, where is here? It wasn't a question where I was, because you just don't know. But you do know. It's really weird because it's more of a question of how did I get here? That's the thing that we ask. So where she said, where is here? It's basically her saying, how did I get here? Because I'm used to being on planet Earth, and now this isn't home, Toto. You know, that's straight from Wizard of Oz type thing. This doesn't look like home, Toto. So the other thing that she said was how you see other people's perspective. I could become them, and I could feel them and what they felt. Absolutely, because that is what karma is all about to me. That's my perspective. When we hurt someone, and then we're in their shoes, so we know what it feels like to have this person called Lynda hurting me. That's me then realizing what the consequences are for my actions or my words or my thoughts even, because even thoughts can create karma.
Sure.
So there's so many synchronicities in what she said with what happened to me when I died when I was 35 myself. You know, and for her to remember all this, like she openly said she was 12 when this happened to her. Gosh, when I was 12, I was outside skipping down the street, playing with butterflies and catching tadpoles in a creek. You know, I remember being 12. But for her to have that experience and to remember all that, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes me, it makes me actually critical think. Is she talking about actual memories here? Because, you know, that's a lot to take in when you're a 12, naive year old little kid. But the similarities, I can't dispute those. You know, I really can't dispute those similarities.
In the full conversation, which I'll put the link to, she talks about big tall towers, big tall buildings that look like from ancient Greece, ancient Rome, something like that.
And I saw that too.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I explained the buildings. They're like 10,000 times bigger than the buildings we have here.
Yeah.
You know, Everest, our biggest mountain range, that's like a little molehill or whatever you want to call it, compared to the mountains that I saw when I went there.
Right.
They're, you know, 30,000 feet is nothing. You know, we're talking 300,000 kilometres high, these the buildings and the mountains are.
Yeah.
So for her to say that part too, you know, it's so many similarities to what I've seen. Yeah, wow.
Super. Yeah. So I'll put the full link to that up. But as we head out of time,
we've come up to the best till last.
Of course we have. So
because I am such a Big Bang Theory person. I binge on Big Bang. I love it. You know, and for Jim Parsons to actually be in what we're about to see, Mike, and I know I've just, spoiler alert.
No problem.
You know, but to see him talking freely in this, it really does make you realise what an actor he was as Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah.
You know, so bravo to Jim Parsons just for keeping up that persona for so many years as Sheldon Cooper. Yeah. Because this is beautiful. You know, he's a beautiful guy. You know, the Long Island medium too.
Yeah, Teresa Capuccio.
Yeah. You know, so, you know, we've said it before, Mike. You know, like this lady, the Long Island medium, she's got a lot to lose by being out there as a psychic. So we always talk about the people like Eric Estrada. Who was it last time? Shelley Long. All these people have got really, you know, they're losing their integrity by saying, oh my God, I've had an experience. You're going to think I'm a whack job, you know? But Jim Parsons in this interview, he's just got enough to, you know, because he's not the one telling the experience, he's there with the Long Island medium. But he's just got that same amount to lose as well because he's part of it. You know? Oh, my God. It's just, I saw it and I went, oh, my God, I've got the chills. Because I really do like Jim Parsons. Yeah. He's an absolutely awesome actor. I give him so much praise for what I've seen now. You know, just by comparing what he's like in this compared to Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at what he's up to. Here we go.
So, who's the father figure that's deported?
Our dad.
Okay, because I asked who was the first soul that stepped forward. He told me that they were away or there was a separation when I died.
None of us were with him.
Our father was very hardworking, very loyal. His family was the most important thing to him,
Absolutely.
Bar none. He was so supportive of my desires to be an actor. He was very clear in his own way that he thought it was the right choice to at least be attempting this.
Your mom's still here in the physical world? Because he just took red roses and handed them to Mom?
And that was their flower. He always gave her red roses.
Perfect. How do you connect with the month of August?
That's their anniversary.
So you know that he goes, oh, she wanted to be here, my wife.
She did.
She's so mad that she's not here.
When Teresa talked about red roses and August, I knew that's my parents' anniversary. And red roses, that's the flower he gave her. It was never anything different. Always red roses. If there were red roses, they were from my dad.
I felt like I heard a nickname, or there was a different name that someone called you or something.
I referenced these yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it's on
Julie Poo.
Jimbo and Julie Poo. Yeah.
Jimbo and Julie Poo, yep. for her to say, I'm getting these nicknames. There's nicknames for you. And I'm
Well,
like,
what's funny, not only did it validate our conversation, but that's what he frequently referred to us as, especially you.
Yeah.
Both of us, though. Both
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
Who died in the car accident or the tragedy?
He did.
So know that also because he hit me in the back of the head after the tragedy, that's validating that he did not suffer, that he passed instantly. He did not feel anything. Do you understand that? And was there something, though, with the head?
It was his head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our father passed away 14 years ago in a car accident. For me, it was a really weird part of life because I was finishing grad school when my dad died. And this presence that could be both a support and a pressure is your father. That was no longer there. It was very rug pulled out. It was just...
Yeah. Every day I think about him.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
So there we are. Jim Parsons. Lovely fella.
Oh my gosh.
Very, you can feel the warmthness coming from him, and genuine as well.
Yeah.
And in fairness, I don't think that was a particularly good demonstration of what Teresa Capuccio could do, because I've seen her do a hell of a lot better. And
oh yeah,
you
very
know,
accurate.
I mean, if I scroll all the way back down here, this is Samantha. So again, I've seen Caputo live. I was so close to her, she walked right past me. It was in an arena, and read my friend's best friend who passed, and was spot on. Yeah, it's just, I think the problem with Teresa Capuccio is some people don't like her in your face. I mean, she is a New Jersey Italian, so she is going to be in your face.
Enough said there. You know?
But yeah, a very, very, very good medium. What are your views?
Absolutely. Oh, sweet pea. I agree totally. You know, I absolutely adore it when I find all these really good psychics and mediums, etc., out there. You know, people who do the right work for the right reasons. You know, because there are a lot of fake ones out there, especially coming up in the last 12 months. You know, people are out there now losing their jobs and they think, oh my God, I've got to work from home. What can I do? Oh, I'll start doing psychic readings, and I'll start doing tarot readings. They've got no clue on how to be a spiritualistic person, unfortunately. So, you know, half of it's just hype. So, you know, I know that doesn't come into your category. Your caliber of expertise, etc., is far beyond the average person, Mike. You know, I'll give you that credit. I'll give you that ego boost
Thank
again.
you.
But that's absolutely worth it, darling. You know, why do I invest the time every week talking to you? Because I know you're deserving of my time. You know, because that's the biggest gift that I could ever give you. You know, and the same with this woman here. She obviously has information that you just can't find in the trash can or online, doing a Google. You know, she comes out with these things because I've watched her. And boom, you know, she just does this random stuff. You know, I'm sure that you do the random stuff. I do the random stuff. You know, and then they just sit there thinking, how did you know that? You know, so it's really pleasing to me when I can watch people who are genuine in this. They're not in it for the money, because once you start doing this stuff for the money, you might as well give up that and go and get a bloody day job. You know, because there's not much money in it, because we're not doing it for the money, we're doing it for the help of others. And, you know, I'm sure you agree your fridge is half empty. You know, my fridge is half empty most of the time too, because we're not doing it for the material gain of doing spiritual work. You know, so for someone to be on their show like Jim Parsons, obviously it was a sit-down interview. They've planned it. There may have been questions prior to the night where she said, oh, do you mind? Because obviously, you know, you're looking at these celebrities, there's things that you can and can't talk about. You know? You could never be able to look at someone and say, oh, by the way, you know, your dad's a pedophile. You know, boom, there goes there, and there. You know, they'll never get a day job again.
I think
so
Lisa Ryan would, but She'd split
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know,
of course,
there'd be certain protocols to follow
Yeah.
when you're doing psychic readings on a celebrity. You know, there'd have to be a list of what I can and can't talk about, like the diva lists, you know? But for him to sit there with his sister, you know, I keep wanting to call her Missy because it's Big Bang Theory. His sister's name was Missy. But, you know, I absolutely love the fact that he sat there. You know, for a man who's now come out as gay, he's now with his partner, good on him for not sticking to that regime of what Hollywood dictates. You know, I give him so much credit, as well as her. You know, I love watching these shows because it gives me the goosebumps, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. When there's people out there who are genuine to themselves before the persona that they're doing when they're on TV.
Right.
You know, it's like you and me sitting here now. We're sort of on TV, but here I am, you know, in my shirt with my fan on because I'm sweating, and you're over there eating. Oh, guys, I've got to tell you, Mike's having his breakfast while the videos are on. I can hear him munching away. He's eating chili chips. Just letting you all know, okay? So I'm laughing hysterically watching Mike eating his chili for breakfast over in Austria.
Yeah,
it's bloody fun. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. See, I'm not lying, guys. I'm not lying. But, you know, we don't do it for the persona or the fame or the glory, Mike, you know? Obviously, if we were on a TV show with someone like Jim Parsons, we'd have to both do our hair a little bit better, I think, you know?
This is as good as it gets, Lynda.
So's mine, you know, here's mine, you know, hello. You know, because I just don't have a pretense.
No.
You know, I just don't do pretense. I don't do it very well. If I've got to dress up for like an occasion, I find that my psychic abilities are always dwindled. That's a good word, dwindled. Yeah, that's a high techie word. Yeah. They're dwindled because I have to live up to this persona. Yeah. But if I just walk in what I usually wear around the house and it's like, oh, yeah, get it. Oh, by the way, where did you get that from? Oh, I know. You bought that 6 months ago at Bunnings. You don't even have to tell me. Yeah. They go, what? Were you there? Yeah. How did you know that? So, you know, when I'm myself, I operate better because there's no pretense, you know? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do the pretense.
I'll tell you what I do. If I have to dress up-ish for an occasion, and I agree with you, it can diminish you a little bit because you're not your authentic self. But
that's true.
But what I do is I always have a ritual before I do any of those events. When I used to do the radio show, my ritual was always shower and shave, and that was gathering my thoughts, and this was my way of letting spirit know. When I did a little bit of television, it was I had to dress up. They say you've got to look TV presentable. Okay, look, but I managed to detach, emotionally unattach myself from the lights and all of this stuff, and just so, okay, you want me to be TV presentable, put the shirt on, put whatever on, and that's it, get it out the way, done, finished, not interested, let me do the work I've got to do. So
that's right,
and that actually enhances my mediumship because it allows for the flow. So again, it boils down to intention.
Of course it does.
You know?
Of course it does. You know, So. But I find, you know, everybody does their thing differently, you know, and that's a good point that you've just pointed out, Mike. Yeah. You know, we all do our thing differently. Everyone does it differently, you know, and I prefer to just walk in jeans and a T-shirt. So, you know, as long as I've got my nice boots on, you know, because I love my boots, they make me feel comfortable.
I'm
you know,
laughing,
if I've got my boots on with a pair of jeans, I feel great, you know, and just a T-shirt.
I'm laughing, Lynda, because Jeff said that they put makeup on me for TV. Only at weekends, Jeff. Okay, that's when I wore my bra and lipstick as well. I'm Michelle at weekends.
Will I share, Mike? It's a good thing you can only see to hear, guys, because it's hot here tonight. You know, I'm letting it all hang out tonight. That's all I'm going to say. It's so sweaty here today. I've got the fan on. I don't know if you can even hear it, but I've got the fan on. But, so, I don't wear makeup. I openly have a rule. The only time I'm ever going to wear makeup is the day I die. You know, I hate makeup. I really don't like it myself, you know. Wow. It's all good. Yeah, everybody has their own thing to, how we present, etc.
We have
but
shared,
as long as we are
too
true
many
to ourselves.
secrets.
Yeah, well, I try to be as transparent, I'm upfront. I say it as it is. I don't wear the rose-tinted glasses, and I really don't like games.
No.
I really don't like games. If you've got something to say it to my face, because it's our intention. I live by intention these days.
Yeah.
So, we all have our own different thing. That's what I'm just trying to say.
Well, that's a perfect time to finish. We almost finished on time. We're just running almost a minute over time today.
Yeah.
This is a record. So, well, look, let's leave it at that, Lynda, for today, because I've got to...
Let me just finish what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
The reason why I just said all that, guys, be yourself. Don't become what others want you to be.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Be true to you, because then that's how we shine. Okay? There you go, Mike. That's how I wanted to finish it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Shine on.
I'm going to try and find this now, which I can't, naturally enough. Open. Let me see if I can open this before we go. Of course it won't do it. Okay. So I'll give up.
You're techie like me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what... Oh, there it is. That's why. So
what are you showing?
I'm going to put it up here somewhere, if I can find it. Oh, boy. Where is it? Hang on a second. It'd be worth it, I think. Okay, let's find a... Bump. Okay.
What are you putting up?
I don't actually know what I'm doing at the moment.
Hey, that sounds like me most days too. Especially with techie stuff.
No, I'll have to do this another time because it's quite tricky. There it is. It's disappeared. No, that's not the one. Oh, damn it. I'll put it up next week. There we are. But yes, I agree with you. Be your genuine self. Be your authentic self. You may lose some people who you thought were friends, but new friends that are on that same vibration as you will come along and you'll be a lot happier. Sometimes we have to do this by tiptoeing into who we want to be. But it's my experience, and again, COVID has revealed the true personalities of people. Those living in fear, those who can sense bullshit, some whatever. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. It just reveals the true personality of people. And then you have to decide, you're not in my tribe. We don't jive. We don't vibrate.
No.
The mask has come down, and we can still... as we give that old Tupac quote, just because you lost me as a friend, you haven't gained an enemy. I still want you to eat, but not at my table.
That's right. That's exactly right, Mike. And and it's okay to say to somebody, we don't get along.
Yeah.
We're not on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
We don't have the same opinions. We don't have the same beliefs. Because that's how we take our own power back.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
once we identify what we are, we can see if we like what other people possess as well.
Yeah.
Because too many people attach themselves to other people.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I like mountain biking because that's what their partner does. They don't know what they like to do because they just go along with that flow.
Yeah.
Don't be a flow person, guys. Stand up and be proud of who you are and what you are and what you possess inside.
Yeah.
Because this world right now, it's getting absolutely shocking where people are so afraid to speak their voice and to be heard and to be their own unique individual self, that they are willing to go along with things that they don't agree with. The worst part is now doctors here in Australia are getting $30 per jab that they're getting. So now I'm looking at the doctors now saying, where's your integrity? Where's your Nuremberg Code ethics?
Yeah.
If you just in this for the money, you're now a corruptible. You're no worse than the. you're going against that do no harm to any other person. But look what happened to my friend Melinda this week. 3 days that she just could not walk after getting the jab last week. She went to the hospital, and the hospital doesn't know what to do with it because they've never seen it before. It is scary times. And I said to her just last night, I said, do you want to go back now to last Thursday and have a decision? She said, if I could do it, I could go back to last Thursday. I would be standing up and saying no to that jab, because it's 4 days of where I thought I was going to die for 4 days. And that's just what it is now. What's going to come in 5 years' time for her? It's scary stuff, guys. So please do your research. Be yourself. Don't rely on others to do your job. Don't depend on other people to be your life. Trust your gut. Learn your intuition. And most importantly, go with your own flow. Don't follow the flow of others, because there's too many sheep out there now just running around saying, oh, I heard it on the news, it must be good. Please do your research and know the real facts, because when you read that, doctors and hospitals are now getting paid to give these jabs, they're going to say what they were paid to do. Okay? Just believe that, guys.
And so on that note, Lynda,
there goes my eyes again. Yeah, it's all good.
I'll see you on the other side.
I love you, Mike. I love you all, everybody. Have a great week. We'll be back next week for sure.
Have a good one. Take care. And I'll put up that link of Ashley Marks a little later on. So bye-bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.